You wake up, check your phone, feel anxious, and rush through your routine. Day after day, your brain responds exactly the same way. This behavior represents a biological default state. Roughly 90 to 95% of human behavior is driven entirely by the subconscious mind. This mental autopilot is a highly efficient evolutionary survival mechanism. It evolved to keep early humans alive by automating responses to danger, prioritizing survival over happiness. Struggling to change is a direct conflict with this ancient biological programming, a survival-focused system running continuously in the background of your mind. The system managing that background program sits right above your spinal cord. It is called the reticular activating system, or RAS. Acting as a bouncer, this neural network filters millions of bits of data every second. The RAS decides what gets past the velvet rope, based strictly on your existing beliefs, allowing red data in while aggressively bouncing the blue. A baseline state of chronic stress forces the RAS to scan your environment for threats. It highlights negative evidence to match your internal state, hiding positive opportunities from your conscious awareness. When your biological filter is locked onto a negative frequency, the path out of your daily loop remains invisible. For decades, the scientific consensus held that the adult brain was a static machine. Once you reached maturity, your neural pathways were considered permanent. Modern research shows the brain is highly malleable, a biological property called neuroplasticity. Psychologist Donald Hebb mapped the core mechanic of this property. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Every time you repeat a thought or action, the corresponding neurons fire a signal. Repeated firing causes these neurons to physically thicken their synaptic connections, making that behavior faster and easier to trigger the next time. Conversely, the pathways you stop using gradually weaken. To conserve energy, the brain prunes away neglected neural connections. A recurring anxious thought physically fortifies a biological circuit in your head. The more you think it, the more permanent that connection becomes. London taxi drivers provide the benchmark for how significantly the adult brain can physically reorganize. Before earning their license, these drivers spend years memorizing thousands of chaotic, winding streets and landmarks, a grueling spatial test known as the knowledge. When researchers put these drivers inside an MRI machine, they found that the posterior hippocampus, the region handling spatial memory, was visibly larger than in average citizens. Navigating that complex environment forced their brain hardware to physically grow new tissue to handle the cognitive demand. Since studying a map can physically expand a piece of your brain, years of chronic stress have simply overtrained your negative circuits. Whatever you have trained can be rebuilt. You can consciously direct this rebuilding process through mental rehearsal or visualization. Your brain operates using a mirror neuron system. When you perform a physical action, specific neural pathways fire. When you vividly imagine it, those exact same pathways light up, strengthening the circuit without a single physical movement. Meditation serves as a second tool for mental renovation, actively repairing the brain's emotional centers. Regular meditation physically thickens the prefrontal cortex, the area governing focus, while shrinking the amygdala, your brain's primary alarm bell for fear and stress. These are targeted biological workouts. They are measurable interventions that allow you to redesign your brain's architecture through consistent effort. By deploying these tools, you can actively interrupt that stressful daily loop and instill calm. Consistent practice reprograms your reticular activating system. As your brain's filter adjusts, you begin to notice the positive opportunities and evidence of success that were previously hidden. Recognizing those opportunities leads to confident action. That action then fires and wires fresh neural pathways, cementing this new reality into your physical brain. This science proves our capacity to move beyond biological defaults and become the active architects of our own minds.